Hi there, my name is Alex, and I need to tell you my story. Believe me, it is really important to me. The thing is, I live in 3 different people, in all 3 of them at the same time. How is this possible? Have patience, you'll find out soon enough. But first things first, I was never exceptionally smart or handsome. Look at my face. But life gave me a different kind, a bit of incredible luck. It seemed like someone invisible was always there to save me and gave me everything I desired. I was born into a wealthy family. My parents were successful businessmen, and since I was the only child, I got the best of everything. The most expensive toys and clothes, the best school, the most beautiful girls, but don't think that my rich parents were guardian angels. I was just lucky, even when it had nothing to do with them. For example, when I was 13, I convinced my classmates to sneak into our neighbor's backyard and paint some graffiti on his shed, and to skateboard in his empty pool. It was illegal, but I thought it would be fun. The party was in full swing when the cops called by an angry neighbor arrived. Everyone got caught. Everyone. Except me. My classmates were grounded for a month, while my parents bought me a new skateboard. You still aren't convinced? When I was 16, I took part in the mountain bike trials in my city. I was not the strongest participant, and I couldn't hope to win. However, a day before the trials, one of my competitors broke his arm, and the other one had his bike stolen. As you may have guessed, I won the competition. I got a girlfriend, thanks to luck as well. My friend Steve and I both liked Melanie. She was the prettiest girl in school, the prom queen. I wanted to date her, but she was into Steve. He played American football. He was also older than me. I never stood a chance, but they weren't together for long. Suddenly, Steve's parents got divorced, and he had to move with his father to another city. Of course, Melanie started to date me. When I was 19, my parents died. It was devastating. But on the other hand, I inherited all their money and now had complete freedom to do what I wanted with my life. Soon, I became fully convinced that my luck had no limits. I liked to try it and got everything I wanted each time. Racing on motorcycles against guys as reckless as me became my favorite hobby. I didn't even wear a helmet because I had complete faith in my luck. Many of my friends got injured. I never got a single scratch. I even earned a nickname, Lucky. Oh yes, those were the days. But one day, something happened. We were racing on sports bikes on empty highways, as usual. We were going pretty fast, and I, as usual, wasn't wearing a helmet. I liked the wind blowing through my hair. The feeling was so good. I even closed my eyes. It felt like the whole world was at my feet. Suddenly, the front wheel swerved, and I lost control of the bike. The last thing I saw was the road getting closer, and then everything went dark. I only remember bits and pieces of what happened next. The ambulance, the hospital, the doctors leaning over me. When I regained consciousness, I realized that I was lying on a hospital bed, covered in some tubes and hospital equipment. My head was fully bandaged. My girlfriend Melanie was sitting next to me and holding my hand. My first thought was that my luck had run out. Maybe I had done something wrong. But then the doctor came into the room and told me everything. It turned out that after the fall, I hit my head on the asphalt so hard that I cracked my skull and the skin on my face was almost completely torn off. The doctor said my chances of survival were slim to none. But by pure chance, an ambulance was passing by that very moment, and I was immediately taken to the hospital. It's very strange, but for some reason, that was the day that the best surgeon in the hospital was working late. He was the one who saved me. Lying on the bed, I smiled under the bandages because that was the moment I knew my luck was still with me. I was getting better very fast. All the doctors in the hospital were surprised by how easily I was recovering from such a terrible injury. But I was calm because I knew that it was all thanks to my incredible luck. I got out of the hospital a mere month later. The only thing that reminded me of the accident was a broken motorcycle and my new face. Yes, it looked different now. Savage, with a significant scar on the side. After this accident, I got more respect, became even cooler. They started to call me Mr. Lucky, and Melanie and I always stole the spotlight at any party. Do you think that I stopped racing after that? Of course not. I bought a brand new motorcycle, even more powerful and fast. And we began to race just like we used to. But I started to wear a helmet, just in case. Once again, I was relying on my luck completely, until one day, another thing happened. During one of the races, I decided to run a red light, and did not notice a car driving right at me. I barely avoided a collision, but that car veered off the road and hit a tree. The driver was an elderly man. He hit the windshield and lost consciousness. We immediately called an ambulance, and the old man was rushed to the hospital. The police officers were questioning me for a long time, but in the end, they let me go. The next day, I woke up thinking that I got lucky, as usual, and by some miracle escaped all my problems when suddenly the doorbell rang. It was the police. They came to arrest me. At the station, I was told that the old man driving the car had died that night, and now I was going to be tried for unintentional manslaughter. I was released on bail and told to wait for the trial. For the first time in my life, I got terrified. Had I run out of luck? I couldn't believe it. Besides, none of my friends came to support me. Only Melanie came to see me, sometimes, and tried to cheer me up. A month later, I was tired. I was already prepared for any outcome. But deep inside, I was still hoping I would get lucky. And luck was on my side again. The lawyer who defended me was able to prove that I hadn't seen the red light because I had recently undergone facial surgery and had vision problems. But something weird happened. The wife of the dead old man came up to me, looked me in the eyes, and said that she was withdrawing the charges. Then she added, "Soon you'll understand what you have to do." What did she mean by that? My luck saved me once again. I was released and got off with a fine. After that, I began to look at life differently. Should I stop tempting fate and always rely on luck? Yes, the luck was still on my side, but that no longer brought me any joy. That is what happened after my face changed. I started to feel that I was doing something wrong, and I couldn't get the woman's words out of my head. Soon you'll understand what you have to do. Long story short, I sold my bike and gave up racing. I didn't want to hang out with people who had betrayed me anyway. Only Melanie was still with me. However, she was always busy, and we saw each other less and less often. One day, we were sitting in a cafe and talking about this and that. I wanted to tell her about the thoughts that wouldn't leave me alone. Then I realized that my tongue was not working. I couldn't say anything. I got a terrible headache and started shivering. I saw Melanie shout for somebody to call a doctor. I slowly slid off the chair and fell to the floor. When I came to my senses, I found myself back in the hospital, lying on the same bed even. And Melanie was there again. What had happened? When the doctor came in, I looked at him and realized that things were bad. The doctor said that they'd examined my head and the results were not good. The thing is, after the accident, a tumor formed in my brain and was now pressing on the vessels, and every day the tumor was getting bigger. But the worst part was that they couldn't remove it. This news simply destroyed me. Was this the end? Where was my luck that had saved me so many times? Maybe it couldn't last forever, and I had just used up all of it. All in all, I felt awful. Melanie left, and I stayed in the hospital. They prescribed me some treatment to relieve my condition. So I've been at the hospital for a month now. Every few days, the doctors prescribe me a new treatment and run some tests, but it only makes me feel worse. In all this time, I had several more episodes, and each time, the doctors brought me back to life. Melanie came by less and less often. The last time she was here last week and said we should break up. It turns out she has already been dating another man for several months. She didn't want to tell me and make me feel bad, but I'm not angry with her. It was just rotten luck she met me. And yesterday, my doctor came by. He was very sad and didn't know where to begin. He said they had done everything they could, but there was no helping me. I was dying. In the next few days, I would fall into a coma and wouldn't wake up again, and that he was very sorry. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept thinking and finally understood. After I got a different face, I became a different person. Now I know what killed me. It's not the tumor. It's the selfishness and the vanity which I justified by calling myself lucky. Many good people got hurt because of me, but I only ever thought about myself and was happy when others felt bad. In the early morning, I remembered the words of the woman whose husband had died because of me. Soon you'll understand what you have to do. And I did. If you are reading this now, it means I'm gone. My last wish was to become a donor and to donate my organs to the people who could really use some luck. I signed the documents and was told that my kidneys would be given to a woman with cancer. My liver would be transplanted to a man, and my thyroid gland to one young fellow. So it seems like I will continue to live on in 3 different people. In all 3 of them at the same time. I am very lucky that I have enough time left to do at least something good with my life. Look at my new face and remember me like this, because I have changed. Sometimes even a seemingly small event can flip the script. Getting lucky doesn't mean you should become reckless. Subscribe to our channel, press the bell button, and maybe our videos will change your life too. Stay safe, and see you soon.